Well, that was certainly a great win for us. That's a really good team, and to win on their home floor after the way we played yesterday, I think was really showed a lot of character from our guys. We talked a lot this morning before the game about just making sure we go play the right way. I think that yesterday we just didn't look like we have been, and I think we caused a lot of we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds yesterday, and that was a big thing for us that we wanted to clean up. And I told the guys afterwards, I said if this game would have gone 1 or 2 points in the other direction, I thought it had just a totally different feel than what we experienced yesterday. And I think that's a lot more important than necessarily coming away with a win. So really pleased with the effort, and makes for a little nicer bus ride home. I think you're muted, Dave. I think you're muted.
How many times have I done that this year already? Your defense was pretty good all day, but especially late. They just really turned it up there. Can you sort of talk about that? What they were able to do, what they were doing that maybe they hadn't done before?
Yeah, I mean the big key I think in the game was trying to make Cam Winter a facilitator only. Yesterday he was able to score and facilitate, and he's obviously one of the best guards in the league. And when he can have his way, like he did yesterday, it makes it really tough. So our guys did a great job of making him a passer today. He did have 11 assists, but he only scored 4 points, and that was a big focus all the way through. And then the other thing we tried to do for the majority of the game was double the post. And they hurt us on it a couple of times in the middle of the second half, but we stuck with it, and I think it got our guys playing really hard and playing really connected. And then down the stretch, we just kind of buckled in. We played one possession of zone, just hoping to get them on their heels a little bit, which worked. And then just made some timely stops and some big rebounds down the stretch.
And Okrus, if I'm saying his name correctly, he hadn't been shooting well lately, but he was really on there in the first half and into the second half. And did you guys just do a better job of getting to him after that, did you feel?
Yeah, I thought we did a decent job. I think he hit one off of an offensive rebound that was pretty open, and I feel like he maybe had another one that was pretty uncontested in the first half. And but I thought our guys did a great job of really sticking with their big when they were rolling to the basket, and making Winter throw back to him in the ball screens, and then just really trying to fly out there and contest. And he's a really good shooter. That's what he does. His numbers haven't been great coming in, but he's a better shooter than what the numbers indicated. So thought our guys just did a great job of making sure to make everyone contested.
And Connor, obviously, in the second half, he was a freshman who really just put his team on his back, to use a cliche, and talk about his performance, especially in the second half.
Yeah, he was terrific all game, but you're right, down the stretch and in the second half. I mean, he was phenomenal. He was 14 of 16 from the line, and just kind of willed himself there, with playing with toughness and driving the ball. And then he had a enormous charge in the last 4 minutes of the game. That was a huge play for us, because we needed to string together some stops to even give ourselves a chance, being down 9 with just under 4 left. And that was he was terrific.
8 rebounds too, which were big. Crazy stat that you may not be, but you're probably aware of. You guys won this game and came back to win this game despite not making a field goal in the final 7.5 minutes. You got 24 free throws, made 19. Were you guys attacking a little more in that sequence, did you feel?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we were doing a good job, I thought, offensively of trying to get to the rim. They play really physical. They try to deny your cuts, and you got to be able to take that contact and get yourself to the rim, get yourself to the paint. We certainly did a great job of that. Obviously, some of those free throws down the stretch, they fouled us for probably about 8 of them. But I did think our guys had a really good attacking mindset and getting the ball in the paint, and that was a big point of emphasis today was, they scored so much in the paint against us yesterday, and we needed to do a much better job of keeping it out of there today, which we did. And then, conversely, make sure that we were able to get ourselves to the rim, and we were able to do that, especially down the stretch.
Right. I should look at the stats before I ask this, but I don't recall Connor getting to the line that much or shooting particularly well in the previous games. I may be wrong about that. Is that
No, you're right. He hasn't taken that many free throws, which has been a little bit surprising because he is really good at driving the ball in there and getting himself. He initiates a lot of contact and then plays through it really well. So it's a little surprising he hasn't been there as much. And he is one of our better free throw shooters. Again, his numbers to games at this point didn't indicate it, but I guess they will now that he went 14 for 16. That'll help him.
no doubt? And you won the boards and second chance, although kind of by a slim margin. But those are always two big stats for you guys.
Yeah, those were big, and especially against Drexel. They're one of the better offensive or defensive rebounding teams in the country coming into this weekend. We only got 8 today, which is not a ton, but they were timely, and as you said, we got 12 second chance points out of them, so that was huge. And then those guys they're big and physical. And one thing that happened, I think, with the post doubles is they played a little bit of a smaller lineup, which makes them a little less effective on the offensive glass. And then Mikkel Harvey did a great job down the stretch of cleaning up the defensive boards for us.
Now, I asked you this after the game yesterday about 24-point loss. Instead of having to brood about it for 5 or 6 days, you get to go right back out and play again. Did you sense that gave you guys maybe an edge? Maybe, I don't know, edge is the right word, but to get out there quickly, was that a good thing?
I think so.
They kind of zoned in on that?
Yeah, I think it was a good thing. These back-to-back scores, if you look at them, there's a lot of conferences that are doing this around the country, and there's a lot that are like this, where one team, wins handily one day and then loses the next day, and it just adds a dynamic that we usually aren't dealing with. Again, I thought the big thing yesterday was that probably 6 to 7 minute stretch in the second half where we just played really, really poorly offensively, and it went from a 6-point game to a 20-point game like that.
Right.
And we talked about that today, just making sure we played the right way, and certainly I think our guys came out with the right mindset today, and we were able to do that.
And there was a stretch there in the second half where it looked like it might have been creeping that way when they went from, it was like a 4-point game to a 10-point game rather quickly. But then you guys got back. A little bit of a mental edge today that maybe wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. And we've done that in a few games now this year where teams have made a run and we've answered the bell and said yesterday we didn't do it, but today we certainly did. And again, at the under 4, we had just turned the ball over in front of our bench. We were down 9, and it had all the makings of a Drexel being able to go and get a couple of buckets and put it away. And our guys really, really dug in defensively and got a couple of key stops, and then got ourselves to the foul line, and all of a sudden it was a 1 possession game, and then made a couple of big plays down the stretch.